What are some of the top things you should look for whenever you're touring a home with your real estate agent? Aside from the obvious things like how many bedrooms or bathrooms, square footage, basement, any of that stuff that the property has, I like to look at the property like an inspector. I am not an inspector, but I like to look at the property like I'm an inspector. And one of the first things I do when I pull up to a home is just look at the home from top to bottom. If I don't know the age of the roof from the seller's disclosure, I'll check it out and just kind of see what I can see from the ground, how much wear the shingles have, if any of them are blown away, if there's debris on it. Moving downward, I like to look at the gutters, see if they're full of debris, like if somebody hasn't been keeping up with it. And you can also usually tell, you can see the drippings from the edge, so they've overflowed and it has just spilled over the edge of the gutter and down right next to the house, and then the gutter's not even doing its job. You work your way down from there, look at the siding. If that's happening from the gutters, it's got water just leaking down the siding, so you're going to start to get wood rot, peeling paint. Check out the windows, make sure the window casings are fine. And then once you get down to the foundation, go back to the gutters again and make sure that they are extended away from the home far enough and you don't have a big old divot from washout. Look at the grading, make sure that the soil, the grass, is going at an angle away from the home and not sloping towards the home, directing water against the foundation itself. And then look at the foundation itself and make sure that you're not seeing too many cracks. Some cracks are fine, concrete cracks, but make sure that the foundation is looking good before you even walk into the home. After you're inside, I like to start at the bottom. So I look at the foundation from the inside. Any exposed foundation, I want to see if there's any cracks going on, if there's any water leaking in. Sometimes you can smell the dampness, you can smell the mold, but not all the time. People like to cover that stuff up. I also like to just press on the drywall a little bit on the finished areas to see if it's soft or if it's soaked up any water at any point in time. You can usually see that on the floor trim or even the bottoms of doors where they may have cracked or had water soak up inside of them. After you're done looking at the basement, even if you haven't seen any cracks or shifting in the basement, once you're upstairs into the other finished areas, make sure you pay attention to all the window frames and everything around the door frames as well. Any doors sticking, any doors not shutting all the way, any cracks coming from those frames, those are an indication that the home has shifted or settled a little bit, which is normal a lot of times, but depending on how bad those cracks are or how many there are, it could be an indication that there are some issues with the foundation. While you're walking through, make sure you are paying attention to the ceiling, both in the first floor or if it's just got one floor and the roof is right above, you're looking for any water spots. So either water spots from plumbing from rooms above or water spots from the roof itself. While we are on the subject of water, also look underneath any sinks and see if the cabinets are rotten out at the bottom. A lot of these things, stuff happens, a roof leak happens. If these start to add up, you know that it's a general indication that this seller has not kept up maintenance on the home and it might not be something that you want to pursue. Lastly, and it's another big one, is the electrical panel. Could be in the basement, could be in the garage, could be in one of the rooms. Make sure that that electrical panel, and it usually reads out on it, has enough amperage for you. A lot of older homes only have 100 amps. A lot of newer homes have 200 amps. A panel itself is going to run you over $1,000 to replace. And also, depending on the year that the home was built, it may have aluminum wiring, which isn't necessarily horrible running through your whole home, but the connections at the electric panel and the outlets probably need to be serviced. You won't be able to inspect the home as well as a home inspector does, but you can definitely minimize the possibility that you are going to get a contract in on this house and then hire an inspector and pay that inspector. Come to find out there's more issues than you want in a home, and maybe the seller doesn't want to negotiate anything on that. And then you're out that inspection money. So definitely, whenever you're looking at a home, definitely look past the things that you see that are cosmetic, the shiny things, and look for the things that are going to be costly in the future, the maintenance that you're going to need to do, the repairs that you're going to need to do. That way you just put an offer in responsibly, and you have a better idea of what to expect from that inspection report whenever you receive it. Thank you. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you later.